Millions of people are taking obesity drugs like Ozempic, Wegovy, and Zepbound. Demand is exploding. But here's something most people don't realize. The real constraint behind this trillion-dollar drug boom is not demand. It's manufacturing capacity, and specifically, peptide manufacturing. Right now, the pharmaceutical industry is quietly entering a global peptide manufacturing arms race. GLP-1 drugs are not normal medicines. Unlike traditional pills, GLP-1 drugs are peptide therapeutics. Peptides are short chains of amino acids produced using solid-phase peptide synthesis. This manufacturing process is very different from typical pharmaceutical production. Peptide manufacturing is chemically complex, reagent-intensive, extremely difficult to scale, and the longer the peptide chain, the harder it becomes to manufacture efficiently. For example, the active ingredient in Ozempic, semaglutide, contains 31 amino acids. Every single step of the synthesis has a small failure rate. Multiply that across dozens of steps, and yield quickly becomes a major problem, which means scaling production is incredibly challenging. Demand is exploding now. Add the demand shock. Companies like Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly and companies suddenly have drugs that millions of people want. Global demand for GLP-1 drugs is expected to exceed $100 billion annually within the next decade. But manufacturing capacity did not grow at the same pace, which is why many countries experienced shortages of Wegovy shortly after launch. This is not just a demand problem, it's a manufacturing bottleneck. The real bottleneck, peptide manufacturing. The truth is that very few companies in the world can produce peptides at industrial scale. Major manufacturers include Lonza Group, Bachem Holding, Corden Pharma. These companies operate specialized facilities capable of producing multi-ton peptide quantities. Before the obesity drug boom, most peptide manufacturing happened at kilogram scale. Now the industry needs thousands of kilograms per year. That's a massive shift in manufacturing infrastructure. Pharma is spending billions to catch up to solve this problem. Pharmaceutical companies are investing heavily in new manufacturing capacity. For example, Novo Nordisk has invested billions expanding peptide production facilities. Meanwhile, Eli Lilly and Company is building additional manufacturing plants to support its obesity drug pipeline. These facilities are extremely specialized. Building one can take 4 to 6 years, which means supply shortages can persist for a long time. The hidden bottleneck. Fill finish. Even after producing the peptide drug substance, another bottleneck appears. The drug still needs to be formulated, filled into sterile injection pens, packaged for distribution. This process is called fill-finish manufacturing. Companies like Catalent play a crucial role here. In fact, Novo Holdings acquired Catalent facilities partly to secure production capacity for GLP-1 drugs. Meanwhile, another development is happening quietly. Chinese pharmaceutical manufacturers are rapidly expanding peptide production. Companies like WuXi AppTec, Asymchem laboratories are investing heavily in peptide manufacturing infrastructure. China already dominates large parts of the global pharmaceutical supply chain. If Chinese companies scale peptide production aggressively, they could become major suppliers for the obesity drug industry. Many investors focus on the drug companies, but the real winners could be the picks and shovels suppliers behind the industry. Companies involved in peptide manufacturing, chromatography equipment, amino acid reagents, fill-finish manufacturing. These businesses are becoming critical infrastructure for the obesity drug economy. One example is Bachem Holding, which has seen enormous demand growth due to GLP-1 drugs. The GLP-1 revolution is not just transforming medicine. It's reshaping the entire pharmaceutical manufacturing supply chain, and the real constraint is not demand. It's who can actually manufacture peptides at scale, which raises a fascinating question. By the end of this decade, who will control the world's peptide manufacturing capacity? Because whoever controls that capacity may control the future of metabolic medicine.